It says that I'm live. Congratulations to 8, is it 7? 8 clients who have their leases signed already this week. And we're about to call Eric and speak to him about his leases. It's late in the afternoon. Why not have a smoke? Oh, I should have picked that up. It said spam risk. Shit, that would have been fun. Jump into the comments. Ask your questions, kids. I would love to hear them. There he is. Hi, Wade. The evening has just begun, my friend. Still working for me. Still working. Let's ask and answer some of your queries about laundromats or life or cigars or whiskey. Can you guys hear the fan going? I'm wondering. Probably not with the sound system. There's that word again. Hopefully you can't hear it. I won't let it annoy me if it doesn't annoy you. We're going to get on the phone with Eric in Illinois. 2 stores at once. It's a big question I get. Danny, will I have the bandwidth to do 2 stores at once? Now, the preponderance of my clients get the same answer. It's not going to happen. Like my Italian grandmother used to say, your eyes are bigger than your plate. Some shit like that. I don't know. But it did happen. It does happen. It's happened a few times. What we do is outside the box. What we do is not simple or easy. I never say it is. The hardest part about what we do is your feelings. You might be surprised, and I'll ask you, what do you guys think? I've had clients who go through the process, see my silly course, that's first. Well, they watch YouTube, that's first. They see the silly course, the one and only course that I've been adding to for 21 years now. They get on a consultation call with me. It's always the same. There's no time limit. I'm not fucking Zoom meeting with you. You get my cell phone number. Send me a text, call me. Let's get some more plates spinning here. Best cigar ever smoked in a film. Name the movie. Thanks, Tom. I'm healing pretty well. My scar, my facial scar almost looks like a Hollywood facial scar, so I kind of like it. Looks like the kind of fake scar I would give myself in the makeup room. Waiting for your questions. So imagine this clients actually, students, clients. I don't call you guys students because I'm not a teacher. So imagine a client who sees the silly course, consults with me, says, you know what? Thanks, Lindsay. No, that would be terrible. I want to hire you, Danny. I want you to make the calls to the landlords. Okay, good move. I appreciate that. The cigar certainly makes for long pauses that I won't apologize for. Monte Cristo number 2, Cuban. Absolutely brilliant. My favorite smoke. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking some up. When the client works with me, I will not allow you sign a poor deal. I can't stop you from buying a laundromat. I can't stop you from building a laundromat. I can't really stop you from doing shit all. But, I should say, however, comma, when you're working with me and we're going through deals, I would rather see you never, ever, ever open a laundromat rather than lose. A lot of people with money in the bank or otherwise are in such a hurry to do the thing that they do it wrong, i.e., all of the folks that go through business brokers and fucking buy one. So we have a great deal, an exquisite deal right in front of us. And I never hear from the client again. Oof. Here's my question to you. Those of you who are actually paying attention and not doing the dishes right now, here's my question. Why? Why does that client disappear? I don't go looking, I don't email the landlord, the third party, the attorneys that are doing the lease and say, hey, did you guys hear from Fred? I don't concern myself. So the question is, they have what we've agreed upon is a great, exquisite deal that's going to earn them one word, profit, and they ghost me. What happened? A hint. It's 4 words. There's that word again. I need to chop a little more of this off. Cold feet, says Maud. Close. No, actually, you're right. The first time it ever happened was in the first 6 months me doing this, and I figured that that person didn't want to pay my very small follow-up fee. The monster under the bed, that's the 4 words. I'll bet that Wade was probably about to write that. They have everything sitting right in front of them. And now this has happened so many times, I can't even count. Fear of the unknown. Very good, Freddie. Monster under the bed. We all know that monster isn't real. Wade. But that monster is what stops us from doing things. Many times, things that are good for us, things that will be fantabulous for us. There's that word again. Dramatic pause. That's the word I was grappling for earlier. So worth it. If you're building yourself a man office, don't have curtains. Don't have any furniture that's not leather. And this way, the smoke will not remain. I don't like that smell. Also, if you're having your home custom built, or you have the ability to do it afterwards, have some fans and upducts placed in the office and the anteroom. Press a button. Up it goes. Hit me up with your questions. We have already signed leases. We, meaning clients and I. You guys know who you are. If you're one of them, jump, and you happen to be watching this, jump into the chat. Guys, I'm not looking for clicks. Those of you that know me, have consulted with me, those of you who have my cell phone number, understand a bit more about me. And some of those things are things that I will not say online. I'm not a private person. We all know one of my main passion is family, my daughters, my incredible wife. That's the way it works. You love your family unit until you create your own family unit, and then you have to stand by them. So family, then my eldest, who's 22, Daniela, she and I are competition shooters. We travel the world. She's 18th in the world in rifle. She's 13th in the world in pistol caliber carbine. That involved going to 2 separate European countries. Get some bracelets while you're there. But my passions and what I am willing to talk about versus my income, what I sold my empire for, that's no one's business. Yeah, you can read between the lines and you see a guy that has a penthouse in Mexico, 150 acres, always shopping for properties in ski-in, ski-out resorts. Okay. But the flash isn't necessary. It's the security that you feel when you don't have to work for the almighty dollar any longer. And that's hard to describe. My impetus for doing this was for many, couple of decades, because the industry itself continues to try to crush the very people that are giving them money. Prince of Laundry. I'm intrigued because you called yourself Prince of Laundry, so I assume you created that name after knowing me. Might be a casino night. What's your craps strategy? I have a craps strategy that keeps me even, let's be honest. So that tells me you don't know me and you've never played with me. There's that word again. Try not to be an idiot. I need to create a new button, perhaps. Something to be said while I'm puffing. All right, the real meat and potatoes of today's call will be Eric. And I'm pretty sure the guy's going to sign 2 leases at once. Those of you that know that I don't put everything online. I don't publish every call, maybe 1% of what I do. I'm on the damn phone every day. Listening to me is boring, though. We need someone to bounce off of. Prince of Laundry, why'd you name yourself that? Perhaps I'm wrong. Vodka night. I don't know what that means, Eddie. Freddie. Here we go, an actual laundry question. Do equipment vendors ever form a unity amongst themselves and don't partake in a bidding negotiation war? Oh, boy. Well, the unity that they form is more conspiratorial than even that. The unity that they form is the fact that their phalanx involves no pricing ever. Do you know how much a commercial top-load washing machine costs. Now, I've asked thousands of people on stage, through emails, face-to-face, in my consultation calls, thousands of people that question. You know how many can answer it? None. Some of these individuals already own 2 and 3 laundromats. None. What costs more? A Ferrari or a Hyundai? Maybe you've never owned either vehicle, but you know the answer. How? Common knowledge, or you could use a real answer. Well, shit, Danny, one of them's made in Korea, the other one's a handmade Italian sports car. But you're about to get involved in a business and you don't know what the basic unit of measure to do that business costs. My impetus has gone from the hatred of the industry itself that almost crushed me to the other people that are continuing to proliferate the bullshit. Fake guru. These folks that are saying little to nothing about what you really need to do to be successful. The latest is all AI everything. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, AI has a place in everything, absolutely. So they look at an algorithm and it says, oh, mention AI. That'll get you clicks and views. Meanwhile, I'm over here saying shitballs because YouTube, as much as they hate that, they're not going to proliferate my channel. Who gives a shit? I'd rather have 36 viewers that really care. Keep asking your questions, kids. Say hello to Eric.
How's your brother?
I'm going to have to call you back. I have to restart my phone. Since I got back from the Czech Republic, my phone's doing a weird thing where it does an international ring, and then I can only hear like every third word that you say. So I'm able to catch it.
All right.
It's silly. I'm able to catch it right away. Are you deepening your voice? What are you doing?
Oh, no. I always talk.
What? Are you afraid somebody's going to know who you are?
No, this is how I talk.
Hold on. I'm calling you back. Okay, that was fucking weird because that's not his voice. People are strange. Anybody hear what he said? Prince of Laundry says, a simple homage to the king. I negotiate for a living and respect the draft. Danny D is the real deal. Thanks, buddy. The craft. Oh, well, draft, craft, either way. Go to settings and reset your network settings. Ooh, do I have to do that in my phone? Damn it. I should have asked the internets. I know, dude. Is he on a voice changer? People are fucking weird. Eric, you're weird. And the funniest part about it, again, 21 years of experience, you'll never hear me say I've heard it all, I've seen it all, because tomorrow, some weird shit is going to happen. I have people that will say to me early on, I'm on a voice changer, I promise, he says. I'm not on a voice changer. Oh, all right, we'll see when I call you back. All right, now we have 4 or 5 plates spinning because Maad is telling me to go to my settings. All right, you're gonna have to walk me through this like thing by thing. So put there, it's an iPhone, of course, the newest, latest, greatest iPhone. Tell me what I need to do. I gotta set my Bluetooth. so that you guys can hear me. That's working. I know Shelly tried to fix it, but she didn't.
Danny, how do I sound now?
Oh, that's better.
Perfect.
What were you doing?
I wasn't doing anything.
Wait a minute. Are you a robot?
Oh, now I hear that.
I had little. I'm never on time.
Oh, no worries. I was able to cook a whole lasagna in the meantime.
Okay, let's have a look at your lease. Now, stop me if you've heard this before. I go through dozens of these things a month. The spiel, if you will, which is a Yiddish word for bullshit. The spiel's important. So, have you ever signed a commercial lease?
I have not.
All right. That being said, it's a scary thing, right? Well,
Yep.
yes and no. It's not scary because the landlord and that entity can't do anything in the lease that is illegal or illicit, right? We know that. Also, we're in a country, all of North America and most of the world, there is no debtor's prison. Truly. Not sure anywhere has debtor's prisons anymore. Easy for me to say. I think folks, I mean, look, you're never going to become a billionaire without credit, all right? Serious credit. You don't sell widget that you built for 50 cents to internet or end user for $1 and become a billionaire. You get it. Or even a millionaire. You've got to rely on credit. I don't give a shit if your last name is Ford. Chevrolet? No. It's not going to happen. So you have to have a certain amount of balls when it comes to that signing. Someone is asking you to put pen to paper and sign a piece of paper and have the faith that you're going to see money on the other end. Now, you're not buying a fucking laundromat. I'd like to ask you some questions as though I don't know the answers or I've forgotten the answers because obviously we're live and people want to hear it.
Sure.
I'm in no hurry. The calls are done for the day. This week, we've had lease signings in Illinois, Ohio, California, New York, New Mexico. I told myself I'd remember all this. South Carolina and Maine. What are you laughing about?
You trying to remember them all?
Yeah, well, I'm going to take some of these spinning plates down. The first guy ever was in Illinois that I thought, I don't know if you've been watching this. Have you been watching?
No.
That's okay. Don't feel bad about it. The first guy who ever ghosted me when we had an exquisite lease right in front of him, I used to charge half, and I don't talk about my fees, but here I am. I used to charge half up front and half on the back end of the lease, right? And I learned lessons over the years. Now my retainer is front loaded for a reason. Oh, somebody gave me $5. Look at you guys. We'll get to all your questions each and every. Hey, I never ask for money on these things because I think it's a bit fucking retarded. Oh, can you still say that? Here we go. It's a bit
let people dollars to the
retarded.
millionaire.
I didn't mean the R word. Now that Commando Spawn, who needs to tell me his real name, has thrown down the gauntlet with the $5, now we're going to get it rolling. The gauntlet has been thrown. $5? And now I'm not going to make fun of that. Thank you very much. What shall I spend the money on? If you tell me what to spend the money on, you must go bigger than $5. Okay? That's the way this is going to work. And don't be silly. Try not to be an idiot. Don't tell me to buy something stupid. If you tell me to put it towards something like a Rolex, then Shelly's going to come in here and get pissed. If you want to drop 10 grand, that's only like halfway there. All right, so I was saying the first guy ever was in Illinois, and when he went away, I thought immediately he doesn't want to pay the other. He was the kind of guy that he was, okay? And I never looked into it. As a PI for over a dozen years, I am very jaded when it comes to information, meaning I don't care. I don't want to take the time. You know, if you work on the phones every day for a dozen years, you're not going to want to talk to your friends anymore on the phone. You're going to want to meet in person, send a letter, right? It's the thing that you do. Commando Spawn got his CDL last year, so he probably doesn't like to drive to the kids' parties. I'm just saying. The thing you do for the bread and butter and the daily. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a negotiator. I'm not a phone guy. You guys do the work. You guys find the right numbers. I don't like to investigate, especially since I'm not getting paid for it anymore. And I have a pretty good impression of when, I mean, people would come to me when I was a PI, and the biggest question is, you can probably guess, hey, how do I know if my wife's cheating on me? I'd say, she is. You already know she is, or you wouldn't be fucking asking me that. Seriously. The second biggest question was, how do I hide? And I'd say, you don't need to hide, do you? No. Then why are you asking? You'll never need to hide. These are regular people at cocktail parties. You know, these aren't criminal low-life types.
You gotta hide like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, exactly. So my answers to those questions were not the norm. Like, oh, well, here's how you find out if your wife's cheating. She is, or you wouldn't be asking. You don't need to hide. Don't be stupid. By the way, you can't. That's the truth of it. Anywhere you could hide, you wouldn't want to be there. Safe houses in the movies are either millions of dollars or it's a piece of shit. Well, if you got millions, you're probably not hiding. You smoke cigars at all, Eric?
No, I don't. My brother does, but I don't smoke or drink.
Well, what the fuck does your brother have to do with us? No. The answer is no. I love when I say, you know, I was in the Navy. People say, oh, so's my uncle. Well, all right, great. Weird. No, I'm not going to put you down. First cigar, that's a story for later. On stage, high school play, I played Oscar Madison. Here I am telling the story. All right, so this first client, whoever ghosted me, I was right when I thought, oh, he probably went through with the lease. He did, because strangely, it was 3 Christmases later, I get a text from this guy sitting in his Porsche with, it's Illinois. Shit, he could be watching this right now. Wearing a dead animal. I don't know what it was made of, but this gentleman was wearing a fur in his Porsche. And he wrote this whole diatribe about, thanks, Danny, this is what I'm like, motherfucker, you owe me money. And I found out because he was probably drunk or high, sitting in his Porsche. I hope not. The day before Christmas, sending me a thank you message. Unbelievable. You can't make this shit up. But nowadays,
send you the dead animals compensation.
Yeah, dude. Like, I've had clients, they know who they are, send me thousands of dollars worth of bottles of booze. I'm sure that's not the right way to say that, but you know, expensive bottles of scotch. Don't do it unless you've made a ton of dough. Now I realize.
Well, if I get there, I promise to send you food instead.
Say that again.
If I get to that point, I'll promise I'll send you food instead of booze.
Yeah, well, you're at that point. Now I find that it is truly the monster under the bed that has these folks ghosting me, if you will. And I can tell you a very specific story. A client that now, and again, a lot of my clients you guys don't hear about. You might see them commenting in the chat or making comments on the videos. I might mention them, etc. But the preponderance of people don't necessarily want to be on YouTube. I really thought you changed your voice because it's like, oh my God, what is Eric thinks going to go on? You know, it's like, and oh, the guy in Illinois, by the way, the original guy from 2000 and something, he told me he didn't ever want his name out there because I was just starting to do little testimonials, you know. He said he's got too many bitches out there. Maybe the coat means he's a pimp. I'm just saying. Crazy. He thought that come on. Some baby mama is going to see you on a channel on YouTube talking about your laundromat. I don't think so. That is probably not going to happen. The internet is so vast. Right now, if you want to find and show me a link about how to knit a sweater in the shape of a cat while wearing scuba gear, you'll probably find it. I know because I invent shit all the time. Have you done this, Eric? You're like, oh my God, I wish I could have this thing. And then I go look and it's already been invented. It's been around for 20 years. I'm like, well, I'm happy now because my brilliant invention exists and I just buy the goddamn thing.
Yeah. I learned how to repair my own oven using YouTube. Saved me some money.
Don't you wonder about the people that are fixing their oven and the same oven that you own and they're setting up a fucking camera? That's not easy. Get the light in there just right, make the video, edit the video, post the video, and they're helping you for nothing, for pennies. And they have like 11 followers. Like, I hope you sent the guy a thumbs up.
I probably did. I'll have to look.
Don't talk amongst yourselves in my chat, kids. I'm paying attention. All attention must be on Danny. Try not to be an idiot. That was meant for me. All right, tell us, without too much specifics and or detail, married, kids, what's your brief synopses, and we'll get to the laundromat thing. What do you do for money, Eric?
Sure. So I'm married. We are expecting our firstborn daughter in September.
Oh my God. What's his name again? What's your husband's name?
No, my wife. Not my
okay.
husband, you fuck.
It's an old joke, but it still works.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So anyways, wife, we're expecting our firstborn daughter. What I do for money, two things really. I still have my full-time job. I work from home, so you know how that goes. We gotta just work 2 hours and jerk off the next 6 hours.
Hey.
But essentially, we basically, how do I explain it? That's the most boring thing to explain, but I work for medical device companies to help them register their devices globally. Each country has their own law on how that device should be handled. And if it meets that specification, then it's allowed on the market. So that's kind of my job in a nutshell.
That's very exciting. saving lives.
My other thing, there you go. The other thing that I do, since I started working from home, I've been able to start up a business. And it was kind of a scary thing at first because I've never run my own business before. It's essentially opening Pokemon cards for people in front of a live stream camera. And, I would get inventory, sell it. Growing. but it's at a point where I'm getting burnt out. There's a lot of hours put in where I would go in front of a camera for maybe 6 hours. I would package everything for
Wait a
five,
minute,
6
wait a
hours.
minute, wait a minute. I know you told me this, and as promised, I never looked. Are you like famous for this?
No, I'm nowhere
Okay.
near famous. I'm probably like small to mid size compared to a lot of other people.
And
out
where
there.
do you do this predominantly? What platform?
Lately was TikTok.
Okay. Well, again, my followers are, no offense to my followers or whatever you say, but my viewership is not huge, so a shout out isn't going to help. But yeah, that's cool. And so how do you make the money in that? Not the TikTok money, but reselling the actual things, or is it both?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything is like a marketplace. Like, let's say I buy a box of packs for like maybe let's say $100. There's 10 packs in there. Each pack is $10. I'd sell it for $20, and then TikTok would take their 6% cut. The customer pays for delivery, and then you keep the rest.
Oh, so you sell it right through TikTok, not on another platform.
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting. Now this is all I want to talk about. All right, so you're a Pokemon, all Pokemon, or other cards too?
Other cards too, predominantly Pokemon. That's the huge hot
right.
thing right now.
That is totally ridiculous. All right, so you do this thing, and where was the concept for that? You saw someone else doing it that was big into it, that had millions of followers, or you're just into Pokemon, or both?
No, to be honest, it was on. I just saw someone saying it like on a message board. I don't know if you're familiar with Discord. Essentially, it's like a message board, an online thing. And I saw someone just say a message saying, "Hey, yeah, I have a friend who makes a shit ton of money doing this. They do this and they resell like this through this platform." And then I just kind of got through that rabbit hole. I just wanted to kind of look more into it, see if it's doable, and it's really something anyone can do as long as you have a camera and you have some inventory. You just start up an LLC, and then that's it. You just get going. So it's very accessible to anybody to do. And then you just got to keep growing like that.
Now, since you've been doing it, have you noticed that there's a lot of people doing it, more people doing it? Did you look into how many people were doing it?
Over the past couple of years, it's become extremely saturated. Everybody and their mama can do it, obviously, so they are going to do it, especially now with everything going up. And so there's money to be made, so people are going to try to capitalize on it. It's very saturated right now.
Got it. And like you said, the biggest thing is you're burnt out on it. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, long hours streaming, long hours packaging, making sure that's all good. We're having to spend hours finding inventory. It becomes a slog where it's almost not worth it anymore. So, with the amount of time that we put in.
Yeah. Well, and that is why, for me, for instance, coming back to the laundromat thing, I would only ever do this if I could figure out how to chalkboard not having to work at it. Yes, it's work, but chalkboarding out, well, how am I going to pay employees? I had employees at my PI firm. I had people under me in the Navy. I had people under me at the bank. And I was like, oh, that's the worst. These people that you can't fire, you can't get rid of. So again, those of you that have seen the silly course know that I figured that out. I figured I wouldn't move forward with a store and the store number one until I figured all this little stuff out. So, here we are. Do I have the right to teach or mentor anybody in this business? Sure, because there are these things that I say, it ain't gospel. It ain't Danny's way or the highway. It's the way that it works. And I don't know if you, Eric, you'll move on to sign these 2 leases. You'll move on to retool these 2 stores. You'll move on to change everything the way that I do right away. Or you'll say, well, I don't really like that. Or I'm going to have my wife and I work in the store. You'll figure it out over time. Danny was right. And it's better just to go with that process in the beginning. I get emails daily, man. I really want to do wash, dry, fold, so I want to get a laundromat. I'm like, well, if you really want to do wash, dry, fold, go pound on the door of a failing laundromat, and if no one answers, go in there and do wash, dry, fold. You think they're going to care when there's more money in the machines next week? Why do you need a laundromat that you own to do wash, dry, fold? Truly, you don't. and we give away that. Hey, that's a great, lucrative, brilliant business. If you want to work at it, if you have a strategy, if you can chalkboard how to get 354 employees and 40 vans, go do it. But that's not what we do. We make money in the service of coin laundry. Anyway, you know that. So that's what you do. Does your wife work?
She used to work, and then it was a very high stressful job, and the side business was actually making a lot of money. So she actually quit her job to be a salaried employee under the S Corp of this side business.
Don't let that kind of shit scare you guys, because he's saying S Corp, he said LLC. Look, it scares people. Let's be honest. When I consult with someone and they say, when do I need my LLC? I kind of roll my eyes, like, know that I'm doing that, because everyone needs a limited liability company. Don't let this scare you either, for every not only asset, but liability that you have. And people think, well, I only need it for a liability or a company. No, you need I've got God knows how many. I've streamlined it. My accountant does them for $20 a piece. If you find, and he loves $20. It's that easy to do. And servicing the LLCs becomes more difficult at that point, but it's like a Christmas tree. You know, the star controls the rest. If I get a letter from my association, which everybody hates, nobody likes associations, but do you want to live where there isn't one? Probably not. You don't want to deal with those people. I don't go to the fucking meetings, don't get me wrong. But when I get a letter about some dumb shit I did, or I blew up the neighbor's trash can, it says the Daniel D'Angelo Trust, blah, 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 with my address. It doesn't come to me. I'm untouchable. If a kid falls in my yard and wants to sue me because his bicycle's broken, he can't. He can try. I mean, anybody can sue anybody for anything, but I don't want to get into the weeds. I am not an attorney. Try not to be an idiot. Let's get on with it. So why in the actual hell did you, Eric, decide laundromats were a good idea? How did that possibly pop into your head?
Yeah, so as I was getting burnt out with this, with the whole cart thing, I've accumulated a lot of inventory. This inventory costs a lot. I've accumulated money that's put in an account and everything. I asked myself, what can I do with this money and this power in order to maybe get some sort of business where I can make money or do something that helps me make money without putting in as much time.
Well, it's obvious.
So,
first, you'll get the money, then you get the power, then you get the woman.
Of course.
All right.
So I was going through, and I was looking through the YouTube, looking at all these gurus and everything, everything that they're trying to sell,
Fake
all these different
guru.
business ideas. There it is, yeah. And I came across one, your biggest favorite. I won't say her name because I know you don't like advertising her name, but she is the head guru of how to obtain a laundromat using seller finance, right? And so I looked at her video. I didn't really learn much about laundromats. I just knew that you could do it through seller finance, apparently. So I did what I did. I got excited. So I went on LoopNet, started looking at laundromats in my area and just see what it was. And then at that very moment, I kind of caught myself and I said, you know what, I'm going a little too fast on this. Let me ease up. Let me hit the brakes. Let me do a little bit more deeper dive research on what laundromats actually are, how to actually run one. Never been in one. Maybe I was in one of like 30 years ago, but
yeah, like literally, I want to own a business that I know nothing. I mean, I know what a bouncy house is. It doesn't mean I need to own a string of bouncy houses. Sorry, you were going there. You're rolling. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I started Googling and I see all these different articles like, oh, I bought this laundromat. Here's how the real math works, and how I got this money and profit over time, etc. I would look at all these different things. And then I saw the goofy guy with the thumbnail. I forget what the thumbnail was, but I clicked the video because I said, it's a catchy title. It's about laundromats. Let me see what he's got. And it's a very lengthy video, and you go on about explaining the whole process. And I start thinking to myself, this guy actually sounds legit. Like, he sounds like this is the way to do it. Why am I going to try to buy something if there's others to be got out there for free. So then I start watching more of your videos, and then I start drinking the Kool-Aid, and then that's when I get into, let me get his course. I go to your website, you get that early 2000s looking fake scammy website looking thing.
Yeah. My website
But
still hasn't changed. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
Somebody
So I
just
looked
sent
there,
me.
I clicked
Somebody just sent me an email today, and he said, "Hey, I called your toll-free number, and it goes to this weird voicemail, and I'm wanting to get your course. And trust me, dude, everyone that calls the toll-free number, it's either Nigel is manning it or he's not. I don't answer it. And do I care? Sure, I do. But it says, hey, we talk on the phone." And he emailed me to say, I want to get the course, but I'm a little freaked out. So I wrote him back seconds after he sent the email, and I said, dude, I don't fucking know what's going on with the toll-free number. Don't get the course if you don't want it. But if you don't get the course, for the love of God, do something else. And then I'm reading this like, that's kind of a shitty way to put it. Oops, and, it's the truth. That's the thing. We're so used to people scamming us that the truth is so refreshing. It just is. I mean, here we are. We're 46 minutes into this, and we haven't even reviewed your lease, which is what we're here to do. I don't care.
We'll get to it in a bit.
Yeah.
So where was I? Yeah, so I see the cost of the course. I say, you know what? It's negligible. I can package a couple boxes. I'll get this money back. It's nothing. I'll just get the course and see what's up. I sign up, get the course, and I don't see anything in my email. So I'm like, oh shit, did I just get scammed? And then I reach out to you, and you actually responded pretty fast. And it actually was a hiccup, I think, through the Teachable website or something, where they actually their site was just having a hiccup, and I got all my password resets and everything all at once, 30 minutes later. I got 10 different emails at once.
See, this
so I was
is
like,
good
okay,
because obviously, I was a party to all of this, but I don't really remember it. Most of the time we get an email from somebody, hey, I swear to God, it's like, I bought this course on such and such a date, and the date was a month ago. And that freaks me out because I'm like, why would you wait a month? Most of the time, it's a month later and they say, I want a refund. And I write to them, I go, I have a canned email that I myself send, but in the beginning I'll say, why did you wait a month? What are you doing? I wouldn't have done that. I'd have been sitting by my computer waiting to see this course. So number one, you got an email when you go look back a month ago, and you know what it always is? It's the email address, because we utilize PayPal or Venmo or whatever else, and PayPal or Venmo has a specific email, and that email is not the one that they now use. So they don't get that email. Even if they check their junk in their regular email, they wouldn't see it. Anyway, this is boring as shit, but guess what? I write back and I say, yeah, oh, you want a refund? Don't you want the information? Here's the link. And then they are able to see it. Anyway, boring stuff. But it's funny to me, the little idiosyncrasies of human beings where they say, a month goes by and they say, you know what, I'm pissed and this isn't real. And like I say, scam. Who's going to scam you by going online for 2 hours and talking to 50 people? And then anyway, and the course itself, yes, it's been around for a long time, but I take very little away from it over the years. I add more to it because there's more knowledge in the old school stuff. And then what's the big thing? The payphone. There's a whole sequence in there about if you see a payphone in the laundry, and people are like, this is old information. And then that person scouts stores and they go, holy shit, here's a payphone. Every week I'm getting pictures from even non-clients. I just saw a payphone in Laundromat in New Jersey. Yeah, because they're still there. They're still trying to make $4 a month from a fucking payphone. Oy vey.
Yeah, I'm giving you a payphone picture.
Yeah, unreal. I could start a whole nother website with payphone pictures. All right, so you got the thing, and you saw the thing, and then at some point you said, let me get on the phone with the man, and here we are. And we called. What was the absolute worst part about working with me calling landlords? The worst part. Don't pull any punches.
The worst part was, I guess the worst part is only having 2 calls and having to wait a week. Yeah, well, I guess maybe that's just because I'm here in Illinois. I'm in the mecca of laundries. I can go and get you like six landlords to call in a day if I really wanted to. But with limited 2, I know you got a lot of clients to deal with too every day.
Before I forget, I can appreciate that, because when it's me doing this for myself and building my empire of stores, I can sit down, old school, pen and paper, the way I used to do it, and call and put notes. And notes or CRM is very important. Customer relations management, right? No matter what you do, if you're selling fucking newspapers, or you're trying to start a business, or you're working for a Fortune 100 company making calls, you have to know what happened, because you yourself will forget, and you learned that. And it's not that I have too many clients to give specific help, and I appreciate I didn't know what you were going to say. You didn't know I was going to ask you what's the worst part. I thought you were going to say my attitude, which, everybody loves it when I'm pointing both barrels at someone else, but when it becomes them, it's always, oh my God, this is, you can hear a lump in their throat. Like, sorry, Danny, I can't take notes today. It's fine. If you're an over-the-road truck driver and you can't take notes, I'll do it. But I just don't want you to pretend like you're going to. Anyway, I digress. That actually allows people, and I hate to tell you this, dude, when I first started this, there was no limit. Put as many stores in front of me, we'll make the calls, we'll do the thing. So it has to, you can't monopolize that much of my time. And it also makes people give me the proper information. And you know that. If you don't vet a number, oh God, the new clients, here's the phone number. Where'd you find it? I found it on the internet. What makes you think it's the landlord's number or his third party or his management company? Well, I'm not really sure. So we call it and it says, the number you have reached has been disconnected. Boop. And I'm like, well, did you even call the number? No. Or worse than that, your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. How many times have you heard that with me?
Man, a lot.
A lot. I do that all day long. So I leave a message. I leave an ambiguous message because I've learned, I understand, I know it must be ambiguous. Hey, I want your laundromat in Suite B. Give it to me. They'll never call back. Oh, I have a tenant there. F this guy. No, I'm looking for real estate in this area in Chicago, Illinois. Please return my call. I'm not a realtor. I'm not a broker. It's standard. I try to bumble on my words a little bit so I don't sound like, hi there, this is Danny. Call me back. They're not going to call back. Those tailored messages are rarely returned. It's maddening. So our best hope is that they pick up the phone. And I'll be frank, if it's me, I'll call the number 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 times because they're like, you know what? Scam artists don't call twice, right? The postman always rings twice. It's an old black and white movie. My techniques,
that was one of the biggest lessons I learned.
But you're fucked up because you hired me to do a thing and I don't charge enough to sit on your lap. Dude, I get emails again from people. Hey, how much will you charge to come here to Ohio and find me a store? I'm like, not enough. How old's your youngest son? I'll take him. It's like, it's stupid. It's just, get the silly course, get off your ass and do the work. Why is no one asking questions? Our conversation is so intriguing. I'm going to get to all your questions. Here we go. Wade is saying things. All right, so go ahead. I interrupted. I'm sorry. So you learned a valuable lesson. What'd you learn?
Yes, was getting the right number and getting it correctly, because one of the things that was a big waste of time for me and you was I gave you a number and I got it from the agency and I want to get the lease negotiated. Like, yeah, it's this guy. So they gave me the number, give me the guy, I give you the number. This guy doesn't pick up his phone for like 3 months. I think we're calling him straight every single week, along with other laundromats too.
Yeah.
But he's one of my 2 slots in the week. And I finally got fed up. So I called him And then when he picked up right away from me. And when we talked, he was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, aren't you the lease negotiator?" I'm like, "No, I don't negotiate leases. I do residential." I'm like, "God damn it.
Wrong
This
guy.
guy's doing residential for
Yeah. So my dumbass
Yeah.
is saying I'm calling about commercial space, and he's ignoring the call every time, even though he's getting a call week in, week out, or every other week. He's ignoring it because like, oh, that's not part of my work. That ain't my job, right? That's the American
Yeah.
way. Fuck. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. There's no way for anyone to know what I know unless I make a 1-minute video about it. And then God knows I have 1,000, 2,000 videos now. So I do, and you know this better than anyone, when you talk to me and you consult with me, I send you a short list of private videos that are helping you to understand the processes, what you're going to go through. But it still doesn't allow me to say to people, hey, for the love of God, vet the number. And they say, but Danny, you told me not to call the landlord. Yes, I told you not to speak to them, not to call them. Call the number and make sure it doesn't say boo boo beep, the number's disconnected. Oy vey.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are. We can sit and lament my process. And I'm happy to ask people, what's the worst part about working with Danny? All of it. It's terrible. But what about the moment when a landlord or their third party or management company answers the phone and I start to sing? Let me toot my own horn by hearing it through your lips. What about that?
That's the best part. And that's when I start singing through typing with the notes. And I know that's a big pet peeve. I've seen your videos where you're doing your thing and it's an amazing call, and then you tell the person, why the fuck did you not write
Why didn't you write any of that down? Oh, I thought it was on YouTube. No, it's not on YouTube. I'm sitting in my underwear. I'm not, again, people make assumptions big and small. They think, oh, well, I figured you record everything and you're just going to send me the recording. No. I'm talking many times pacing my office, or I'm in Baltimore, I'm in New York City. We've seen the thing. Me with my phone in my ear in all these different places. That's my wife or my daughters snapping pictures of me on the chairlift, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this call. I'm getting a return call. I'm calling my client. And they love to take pictures of my dumb ass on the phone. Most people are like, let me take a selfie. No, it's just me on the phone in these weird different places. I had somebody one time who's like, oh yeah, that looks real. I'm like, bro, I'm in Monaco on the phone. So real or not, I love it because it's 4:30 in the afternoon. I got a drink in my hand and I'm calling somebody at 6 a.m. in New York. Anywho, thank you. So we called, we had the strange and rare occurrence where this landlord, tell us about how you ended up with 2 stores. And you're going to move forward with both stores at once?
Yeah, we have to. They're doing both or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So the way this worked, it was about a year ago where we scouted this laundromat. It wasn't a bad looking laundromat, but it wasn't a good looking laundromat either. But it was we went in there. It was very big and spacious, and we called up the agents after some hiccups and getting him connected. You finally called him, and he said, "Yeah, I know what you're doing. I get the picture. Let me take a look." And he has 10 years left on his lease. So I'm like, all right, well, there's nothing much we can do here other than put it in the back burner, and
Piece
I
of
kind
shit
of just keep doing my
laundromat
thing. Yeah.
with 10 years.
Piece of shit
remaining.
laundromat, 10
Yeah.
years. With 10 years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what it is.
Strange but true.
And so, I keep scouting for the next year, keep giving you crazy landlords, doctors, operators, all that craziness. And then I come across another laundromat throughout my scouting where it was a very tiny laundromat. But I wanted to learn more about it. So I looked up and I saw that it's the same company that we've called before. And so I inquired about it, and sure enough, it's the guy that you talked to a year ago. And I tried doing the thing where I try to be subtle about it because I'm not trying to get too much, but I ended up learning that laundromat space is only 1,300 square feet. So I'm like, I'm not interested, but If you happen to know any other locations, let me know. And then about 2 weeks later, he texts me. He said, hey, there's something going on at this one location. Are you interested? And then I'm looking at the address. I'm like, this is the one that we scouted a year ago. And so I told him that. I'm like, you know what? We called you about a year ago on this space. My partner Danny, I made it up. My partner Danny's on vacation. He's coming back into office tomorrow. Tuesday's my day with you.
Yeah.
He said he'll give you a call, save his number. Here it is, and everything. He's like, all right, perfect. And so that's
and that
you and
fucker
him
didn't have my
started
number in
dating.
his phone, did he? The way that I do with every single call to every agent, even wrong numbers that I sometimes go back and change. Now, there's a little thing, and people don't know this. I don't think I've ever said this publicly. If I like the landlord, I'll put good man or smart gal, or I'll get, there's plenty of room in the iPhone to give people little nicknames. And then I know when I call them again through you, or I don't know if you're going to want store number 3, 4, 7, 12. I don't know if you want me to do it with you. I'm not asking right now. But if that's the case, great. You're a continuing client. But if I come across with another client in Illinois, a store that you first found, I will text you. And I'll say, hey, somebody just scouted this store. And look, I'm not going to call that landlord and talk about this because that is your find. That may seem strange. But dude, this is just me. I do have editors that handle my shit because I was an editor. I did it. I don't want to do it like you. You get burnt out. Editing is hard, especially when you're like me and you're like, nope, it's not good. Fresh eyes tomorrow. I'll look at it tomorrow. I'm making a 45-minute video that takes me 7 hours. It gets to be crazy. Anyone who's edited video knows that. It's never good enough. So I had to rip the Band-Aid off and say, you know what? I'm going to have a team of guys that does this. It costs me a lot of money, but it's worth my time. And many times, the really funny videos, those are the ones that I get back with them and I say, change this, put this movie line in there. Maybe it's only funny to me, but when I blew myself up, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of Stripes. This reminds me of Sergeant Hulka. So here we are, right? Maybe nobody else thinks it's funny, but especially my wife. All right, too many plates spinning. So here we are. You are putting this store in front of me, and I appreciate it. I don't want you negotiating on your own because twofold. Number one, it gets convoluted. It confuses the matter where he's like, who's Danny? Who's this guy? What's the hell? And I use the term partner colloquially because the moment that they see, what am I going to say? If I say, yeah, I'm a professional lease negotiator, or if you, Eric, said, my professional lease negotiator is going to call you tomorrow. They're like, no. Good cop, bad cop. They don't want to deal with me. They don't want to talk to me. But if I'm your, quote, partner, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll talk to him. And it's pretty obvious and or evident that I'm better at negotiating, no offense to you or anyone, than most people on planet Earth. Right now I'm working with a cop, actually 2, that are police negotiators. So imagine, that's pretty emasculating when your job is negotiating.
That's hard shit.
But it's like, you know what? The one guy told me, I talk people off a ledge. You talk people onto a ledge. It's different. I have to be nice to people. I'm trying to get them to not to jump. And you're trying to get them to jump with a rope around their neck. I'm like, all right. I use that line all the time. And I give credit where credit is due because it's brilliant. It's a different universe. Anyway. Not to use a Joe Biden line.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I get this guy in front of you. You guys do the dance. When I listen to you guys, especially over and over with all the different calls, I hear 2 people who are pros at negotiating, and you both know it. And you guys are doing the slow dance, doing all the playbook negotiation tactics. And
I hate that shit.
Eventually,
is any of this online? Did we record any of it?
Oh, yeah. Well, pretty much the whole sequence is online. They're in different videos and different lives, but I know how to find them.
Yeah. Well, you should send me an email with the links to them, and then we'll make a playlist out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that for you.
Again, if I had a fucking professional group behind me somewhere that was doing this, that's exactly what I would do so I could get more of your money, right? And God, no. I should have, there should be the course, and then there should be course number 2 and course number 7, and then you finally get to talk to me. I know I have to change all that shit. But but it wouldn't be fair to you or anybody else. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
And so we find out that the tenant is defaulting. And
on the one
what
that
we
had 10
find out-
years of lease?
Yes.
Okay.
What we found out was that there's actually a newer operator within that year that we last called, and that
So wait a
operator,
minute,
that
wait
new
a minute.
operator.
I'm not going to apologize for interrupting because I'll forget this stuff. It's kind of my nature. But
Mhm.
We called and he said, "Now we got a 10-year lease," and that's what they say.
Yep.
Oh no, we're good. Or I don't know. I only deal with empty space. Let me find out. And then what happens? They don't fucking find out. We call for another 6 months and they're looking at their phone like, oh, that's that Danny guy. It's the laundry guy. I haven't looked into that lease because I don't give a shit. So they ignore my calls. And then finally,
he was actually help on the beginning. He after he said, he's got 10 years lease, but I got this other space, but we checked out this space and it ended up being a dry cleaners.
Yeah, it was a dry cleaner because they never know. Or then they'll say, "Oh, I have the perfect spot for you." And I interrupt them. I'm like, "Is it a laundromat?" No, but it's a corner cap. 3.4 million cars drive by every 11 minutes. Oh, it's going to be great. Don't want it. You weren't listening. I want laundry infrastructure, i.e., we want. All right, so anyway, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we find out that this is a new operator and that this was actually someone who used to be a former laundromat employee who took over the business. So we don't know what happened to that previous guy. But yeah, I clearly remember you saying that hardly ever turns out good when you talk to him.
Yeah. I love it.
And so we find out that there's actually a second store that he's operating. So there's actually 2 stores that he's operating. He's defaulting. And then the agent's like, well, if we're going to do this, it's going to be both because we can't tarnish the relations with this guy with just one and keep him on board. It's going to be both. And so
I remember I
I
didn't balk about that because I first asked you, do you have the bandwidth to do 2? And you said absolutely, because otherwise, I'm going to go after 1, then 2, then 4, then 7. So yeah, you went and looked at them both and said, let's do it. Yeah, I remember. I'm not the one that's going to make that decision because you know what, my friend? Everything's a negotiation. I believe that. I could have said, you know what? We're going to do 1 of these. And he would have acquiesced to that. He just would have. But 2 is better. It just is. You don't have that mincy ball attitude. And I do mean to offend those that have mincy balls. All right, so go ahead. Timeline.
Yeah, so I went to scout that other laundromat. It was actually a little bit bigger. That one's actually an all card store. So we got one that's an all coin store and one that's an all card store. And I think I even told you that when you went to scout in LA County, you were having trouble with that one kiosk that you couldn't even figure out how to get the card or whatever. This laundromat has the exact same brand kiosk in that card store.
Unbelievable. Isn't that funny? Yeah, we rolled in. For those that don't know, again, there's 1,000 videos. We roll into this store, and I'm like, this is pretty nice. Eric, my videographer's with me. I'm like, Eric, what? His name's Eric too. I said, I saw it right away, but I was like, it's a Saturday. Where is everyone? Fairly decent store, huge parking lot, Los Angeles, right? Plenty of parking and plenty of good working machines. And I was like, what's wrong with this picture, Eric? And, he doesn't know. He's a videographer. And he's like, let's go see how I could pay and how I could make a wash happen here. So I was kind of walking Eric through it while I was walking everyone through it. It was a live video. And I said, okay, here's my $20 bill. Here's my fake washing. Card reader wasn't working. I couldn't put money in there and buy a card. So, fuck me. And it's not about, sorry. Fuck me. It's not about fuck me. It's about screw everybody that wants to use this place. If someone accidentally stumbled in there, they'd leave. If someone was utilizing that place and liked it, they wouldn't come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, timeline, go ahead.
Yeah, so we scouted that location, made sure that it was a laundromat, everything's functioning, and it's operational. So from there, you and the agent just kept going back and forth over the weeks, going over the terms. He emailed us some terms. He said, hey, these look kind of favorable for NAMI. We'll push on some stuff, but let's just send them an LOI. So we sent them an LOI. They responded, I think, within a week or two. You said we're going to ignore them because there was something with 103%.
Yeah.
I think you were saying, yeah.
I love the ignoring.
So we ignored them.
Now bring us into these moments for you. Yes or no, Pepsi, Coke questions. Did you lose sleep at that point?
Yes, absolutely.
That's terrible. I feel bad for you, but I understand it. Did I ever ask you if you lost sleep or concern myself with your lost sleep? I already know the answer.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't give a shit.
Absolutely
But I
not.
tell you and everyone, and I'm telling people now, don't lose sleep. But you're laying there in bed at night without drugs or alcohol, and you're thinking, oh my God. The hardest part of negotiating is the waiting. Do you know how you get what you want? The waiting. There's that word again, the waiting. Now, when we wait, and either an hour later or 7 days or 7 years later, they write back and say, hey, did you see our offer? That's when we call back. The hardest part and the best way to get what you need and what you want is that we all know the girl, we get the number, and then, you never give the girl your number. You get the digits, because then you can decide when you call. And then God forbid you call and you get, boop, boop, beep, the number you've reached is, but God damn, oh, I misdialed. All right, good, she still likes me. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't admit this, but I probably will. During that time, we're waiting for it, right? And I'm in my head and in my heart, I'm like, oh my God, why aren't we responding to this guy? We're ignoring him. I'm not used to ignoring someone. I'm always trying to reply to someone right away.
Sure.
As part of my job.
And you should. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're waiting. I'm like, it's another day. He hasn't responded. He thinks that we're a jackass because we're not responding to him. Whatever. And so I'm trying to cope with this, and I'm trying to figure out okay, I try to keep telling myself, Danny is on your side. Do Danny's process. Danny is on your side. And then I go into to ChatGPT and I tell it, hey, this is what are the tactics that we're doing, this negotiation timeline. And I feed it what we're doing. And then the thing actually tells me, yeah, waiting is actually a pretty good, it's a good negotiation tactic.
Oh my God. Kill shot. I hate chat fucking GPT. I don't even know the guy, but now I'm on their side. That's funny. And my face pops up. So you should wait.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
And then the cherry on top, I think it was another day later. We're still waiting. And I see one of your videos where the guy said that he caved and you told him that he screwed the pooch or whatever.
Oh,
and then that's when I was like,
the client reached out or did some dumb shit. Yeah.
The client reached out, did some dumb shit. So I'm like, you know what? This is a sign. Just calm down. Everything's going fine. And then one day, finally, the agent emails us back and says, yeah, you know what? Let's do this or this or whatever. Everything goes on normally. So I'm like, okay, we're back in the game. We're getting more rent abatement because we waited. And then, you guys do another back and forth. We wait again. We get even more abatements, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because what's funny about the waiting, just small incremental things. If they wait a month and then reach out and say, hey, what happened? And they're trying to only give you 8 months of free rent. Some people on here don't know what abatement is. I've had landlords that don't know the word abatement. They don't understand the vernacular, but they know about free rent. So that's what it is. We're not giving up the ghost. If you watch all 2,000 of my videos, you'll probably learn most of the secrets, including the payphone. You don't inhale cigars, by the way. That's not why I'm joking. It's the vodka. Keep asking questions, guys, because I'm going to get to all of your questions. I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually honing in on what Eric's telling me. Even though I was party to all of this, I never remember the specifics, so it's kind of fun to listen to. And thank you, Eric, for going through it. A lot of clients will tell me these little tiny tidbits and these moments in time and how what it meant to them and where they were in their own life. Like, I remember having knockdown dragouts at Home Depot. You know, I'm trying to buy something and I just sit down on a pile of wood, get on the phone and hammer out a lease. And I remember where I was. I remember where I was when I bought my first comic book. You know, it's just, it's meaningful. Sitting in the office is one thing, but it's always going to mean more to you because it's your one and or two store. Me, it's God, I don't even know how many. When people ask me, how many leases have you negotiated? How many stars are in the sky? You know, I turn into Carl Sagan, billions upon billions. I don't know, but you remember the hard fought ones. You remember the assholes. You remember, and we're publishing a video probably this week. If you're the client that was on this call, I don't remember, we called a landlord that was a total jackass, and he completely changed his tune because he went from having a lease where he thought this guy was doing well to, they haven't paid my rent in a couple of months. What did you say you want to do, Danny? Oh, okay. Okay. You know, it changes. It changes. Noah, my humidor holds 10,000 cigars. Let's put it that way. I'm embarrassed. People say, oh, you collect cigars. I'm like, no, I smoke cigars. Okay, so here we are. The waiting is the hardest part. He comes back. We get, if they let a month go by, you say, we need to tag another month on to the lease abatement, to the free rent. And they're like, well, how does that work? Well, you drug your feet for a month, so we want another month. And the wind is out of their sails because they can't say, oh, we can't give you another month when they waited 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It helps. All right. We're all over here just stroking each other off like you have a lease, and you do. So you have one. So now is the point, and you've heard me say this famously. It's in the course. I'm not an attorney, and I recommend that you get an attorney. You're about to sign a legal document, and I know we're not friends. We've never met. We likely never will. As a friend, I'll tell you that you don't really need a lawyer because they can't put anything in the lease that involves the absconding of your firstborn son or daughter. Now you're about to have a daughter. Good for you. Name her after you, Erica. I named my first daughter after me because I knew I would never have a boy. And 3 daughters later, I'm right. Or Danny, Daniela, you know, either way.
Yeah.
This is exciting. Understand that a commercial lease is normally boilerplate, right? And this is also why I tell you and every client, go over it with a fine-tooth comb. Because you will. And you probably had Chat fucking GPT look at it. But I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I'm not going to pretend that I looked at the lease. Brand new clients, watch my course, email me 347 pictures of a laundromat. Happens all the time. I don't look at it. I don't look at the photos. I don't blow them up and say, I write them back in email and I say, look, I didn't stare at all these photos. I'll be honest. We should consult. We should talk. Not because I want to get a few dollars from you for an unlimited consultation, which is preposterous, but because this laundromat is indicative of every horrible laundromat. It's the same. As much as you don't want to hear that, and these are canned emails, but they are tailored to everyone's issue. You know what I mean. I'm not going to send a canned email that's slapping someone in the face, but I'll say, Hey, but nor will I be a liar and say, oh, gee whiz, Bob, those photographs look perfect. That's the excellent, most perfect laundry I've ever seen. Try not to be an idiot. Let's get on the phone so we can get it for you. No, I don't say that. I say, fuck if I know. Because we will find out when we speak to the right people. The folks sitting on the other side of the negotiation table will tell us, oh, we're leveling the building. Wah, wah. Oh, gee whiz, we found oil in the parking lot. We're going to be leveling it in order to put oil derricks in. You know, that happens. There's a reason we have 7 suites and only the ice cream parlor still exists, because we're getting rid of everybody so that we can put high rises in, whatever. Or, yeah, we love the concept. We'd like to have a laundromat here. We're trying to bring that type of clientele in. What say you? All right, so here we are. It all makes sense. And dude, you know what? I'm very thankful for you doing this for me and for the rest of us, because you're going through the timeline in your own head and it's telling, right? It explains the process, because I don't have the time or inclination or the skill set to explain it to everyone. Now they're hearing you say it. They're like, okay, I feel the same way. If I make a video and I make a cartoon about how this works, no one equates that to their own feelings. Does any of that make any sense?
Right.
They're kind of like, oh, well, there's nothing free. Why is Danny's thing free laundromat? Because it motherfucking is. You're going to spend a ton of money. You're going to put pen to paper. You're going to be in debt, but it is called good debt. All right. So you looked at the lease. The leases. Dos, el lisos. And now I ask you, what about, and I know there's a deposit in there, right?
Oh, yeah, there's more than just a deposit.
Oh, boy. All right. I have not heard any of this, so hit me. What's up? Did you email me all the bullet points? Should I look at your document?
No, I actually put it all in the Google Docs, actually.
Oh, good. All right. Okay. I'm in your document. Oh, my God. Why are these words so big? Oh, there you are. Look at you. Upfront. Oh, Jesus Christ. Upfront. Go ahead. You say the words. I'm looking at the numbers.
All right. So the combined total for both locations at the time of signing, they want me to write a check for $37,630. So there's a security deposit for each location. The first location has a security deposit of $13,184. And they also want me to pay the first month's rent, which is going to be $6,522, including CAMs and taxes.
It's funny that you're smiling. It's funny that you're actually smiling as you read this, because you know damn well that you're not going to pay any of that. That's what's funny to me.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
And the second one,
it's nonsense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's nonsense. Now, if you were brand new to this process, or God forbid you listen to some other fake guru, and I shouldn't say other, you listen to some piece of shit fake guru, and they told you to do whatever you had to do to get seller financing or borrow money from your home, whatever you have to do to buy a laundromat, they don't mention the almighty lease. Or you're supposed to buy this individual store off of Craigslist and then go to the landlord hat in hand begging for a lease. You know what they're going to do? You know what they're going to do? They're going to allocate the existing. They're going to allocate even worse. They're going to allocate the existing lease to you. They're going to hand you this other failures lease when they're 6 or 7 years into it, or God forbid 10 years, and they're going to let you sign on to the 5-year remaining option where they're topped out. People don't know this. Apartment complex, right? We're all used to it. We've rented cars, we've rented apartments. An apartment complex goes from $5,000 a month per apartment if it's in a nice Scottsdale area, or $500 a month where you don't want to live but you can't afford to live somewhere else. What happens in 5 years? It goes from 5,000 to 6. It always goes up, unless people are killing each other in the parking lot. The rent goes up. Commercial leases are different. And this guy knows that. The landlord knows it. It's called a reset. I'm giving away all the ghost here. We reset the lease. Why? Well, the why is important, because you're about to invest a bunch of money, not in the landlord's bullshit, but in your future success. You realize, Eric, this lease might not happen. These leases might not happen for you. It might not happen.
Mhm.
Back to the drawing board. No big deal. More lost sleep. I got a baby on the way. More fucking Pokemon cards. Oh, me. I'm glad you're laughing because I know
Oh,
this. The only way to get the right price for the car is to walk out of the lot. Not true. But don't get me started on car dealers. The only way to get the right price on a car is to know what they're in it for, and that's easy. All right, so a meager $37,630, which you highlighted in green, which is funny to me because only I'm supposed to highlight things in green. But all right, it's the color of money. How do we possibly make that? Well, that's the elephant in the room, the first thing that you wrote down, because it's preposterous. They're giving you how many months of free rent?
We'll get to the itty bitties of that, but the overall picture is that they're giving us 7 months abatement. 4 of it will be upfront.
Okay, and they're going to spread the rest out. All right, so 7 months free. Great. Yeah, that's right, kids and folks at home. That's 7 months without paying rent. So in a real world, folks are asking themselves, head scratch, why would I give them 37 grand and get 7 months free? It's not real. And it's just not. And stop me if you've heard this. The landlord's agent always says, well, we've always gotten a lease deposit. No, you can't say that tomorrow because we won't. Oh, by the way, I know I'm supposed to tell you. What's the leasing agent's first name, please?
Jason.
All right. I have 112 texts today.
I thought you were about to say you have 112 Jasons in your phone.
Oh, God, more than that. Common name. I only have one Hose B in my phone, though. There's a lot of Jose's. When did Jason last text me? I didn't send this to you.
That'd been like 2 weeks ago.
No. Today. Since we were getting on the phone, I didn't bother to tell you. Okay, now his last name just hit me. Don't say it. I'm such a tech guy. I'm going to find it. I really am. Okay, here we go. Yesterday, you knew we were talking today, right?
Yes.
Yesterday, 7:27 a.m. my time, our friend Jason texted me, good morning. Tell me good morning. The fuck? Who cares? Just ensuring, because for me, business is business, right? Hey, how you been? How's the weather? He writes verbatim, good morning. Just ensuring you receive the lease drafts. Let me know if the timing to sign later this next week works for you, or if you think you will need more time. Period. Thanks. What does that tell you? That was yesterday.
He wants us to sign this right away.
Of course he does. That was 7:30 a.m. yesterday. Today at 10:02 a.m. he wrote, Danny, are you guys still planning on moving forward and reviewing the lease? ? Please let me know. To which I wrote back, we'll be taking a look today. Period. Send. You can put that in the notes. Dude, they've made a decision. They're going to lease you 2 laundromats with probably, let's be conservative, $300,000 worth of infrastructure, right? These are free laundromats. We're in Chicagoland. Have you asked GPT what it costs to put in a washing machine? It ain't cheap. You're getting all of that, right, for nothing. The roof penetrations, the black pipe, the gas, water, electric. It's all there. But when they make the decision, the mental decision that you are going to be, remember, they wanted to see your financials. They wanted to see this, that, and the other. You're not a wealthy man. You sell fucking Pokemon cards. Just kidding. Those financials are meaningless. If you have an 820 FICO score, you can buy a Ferrari or a McLaren if you have good taste. You might not even be able to make the first month's payment, but you can buy the thing. And this is all part of it. People are scared to death. The monster under the bed is their bad credit or the bill that they owe. So now, next business day, what's today? Tomorrow, we need to call him up and say, small thing is X and Y and Z, do this. And I wait for him to say, oh, okay. And then the whammy. Second small thing, scratch the deposit. And we wait and we listen. But we're not going to do that until he sends me another text. You get it. You understand it. And as soon as I can, when he sends that text, I will text you and say, do you have a minute to call Jason back? Because he'll be in the mode. He's got a million things on his dirty desk. He's got a bunch of things he has to do. And the smallest of which is him concerning himself with you. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes sense. And I know in his email, when he sent the lease, he's trying to be in a hurry because I don't know if it's true or not, but he's saying that he's going on a long-term vacation starting next Friday. So he said, preferably if we can get this signed before, then that would be great.
Does his fucking phone work when he goes to Guadalajara? I mean, come on, dude. Come on. All right. Like I said, you will be the one to fine-tooth comb this. What else concerns you, if anything? How many pages is the lease? That's big. How many pages
it was 27 pages.
Both the same, right? I mean, they're boilerplate leases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both the same. So aside from the security deposit, they also want us to pay the first month's rent, meaning they want us to pay month 5 at the time of signing. So I don't know if that's normal or not, but I put that there.
Does that make sense to you?
It does not make sense to me.
We're going to give you 7 months of free rent, but we want you to pay the 5th month up front. It's called skin in the game. I hate normal phrases, right? I don't like them. You don't hear me say win-win or any of the other bullshit that negotiators say because it's dumb. Because other people understand it. Because some flatfoot gets what that means. No, there is no win-win. For someone to win, someone has to what? There's that word again. Someone has to fucking lose. That's the truth of it.
Yeah. So the next concern in the following page, there's 2 things. There's a termination contingency and a commencement end and date of term. So the termination contingency is just telling us that as a reminder, there's a current tenant in there. We're trying to get them out. We're trying to do this thing. The lease will be contingent on this. The lease can be terminated if we don't get it back within X amount of time.
That's one of 2 stores, right?
Both stores.
Both stores have, I thought one was empty.
No, they're both operational. They're both by the same tenant.
Oh my God, no. Well, what happens if they put concrete in the drains?
I've been taking a look at it every now and then.
They're not going to put, nobody does that.
I know.
And that's the thing. We walk, they walk. That's the thing. You're going to give them $37,000 when these leases are, dude, that's my hammer. That's the whole hammer. How about this? We don't give you $37,630 and you boot your tenants. They want you to pay their legal fees so they can get rid of these knuckleheads. It's 2 separate entities, right?
The same entity.
You can tell I was paying no goddamn attention. Sorry. I only focus on the stuff that I need to know. All right. So the same dude owns these stores, and obviously he's telling them that he wants to leave. Trust me, he wants to leave, and you're giving them the ability to allow him to do that. You follow that? We know he's got 9 years left on this lease. He does. and we're letting him vacate. We're doing them a favor. Maybe this is something you haven't thought of. We're doing them a favor. So allow our legal fees. Yeah, we'll come with a check for $37,630, but you're going to write us a check for $38 because we're basically bouncing this guy for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's going on vacation. So that's all he's worried about is getting his bikini in order when you're trying to start a business. All right, those are boilerplate. The contingency, you've heard me say, we will sign a lease contingent on the exit of the current tenant. I say that all the time because they say, well, I don't know, we got a guy in there already. Well, why are you talking to me? Why are you, and ladies and gentlemen, we don't take existing laundromat operators and throw them out the plate glass window. We don't do that. I sleep well at night. Never have I done that. They've already destroyed their business. They've already lost their consumer base. They've already stopped properly advertising and giving away coats in the winter and doing barbecues in the summer. They no longer care about the business. Maybe it's because he's got two that are not, he's not able to properly handle two. His wife's working one and he's working the other. Whatever the small idiosyncrasies are, the guy can't handle it. All right, so that's boilerplate. That's standard stuff. What's next?
Yeah, so here's where that kind of combos into this with the commencement dates. So they're saying that the term of the lease will commence whichever comes first, August 1st, or when the guy gets booted out and the landlord gets possession. And they're saying that if August 1st were to come first, or if at the commencement date, which could be August 1st, but they might not have possession of the space yet, the tenant, me, will be obligated to pay minimum rents. And then that means that the first 4 months, the timer will start on August 1st, even if we don't have.
All right, so that's big.
No, okay.
Write this down in the document. What we're going to request and get, we're not going to do any contingency on the exit. That's on them. We're going to do 30 days. The lease will commence 30 days post exit of the current entity. Is entities plural, even though it's the same guy. So, no. They want to have all this legalese about how you're going to be on the hook for this place when they're trying to get the guy out. No. We are going to say, without bringing lawyers into this, that we'll have 30 days once he's gone because we got to clean up his shit and then start bringing in your shit. So there you go. Mm-hmm. We want to order equipment, but Jason, we can't order equipment. I hope Jason isn't watching this. Some people even say that, like, how come the landlords don't watch it? Because they're learning how to knit a cat sweater while wearing scuba. And it's funny when the landlords, are, especially their agents, they do find me. I send them my email. It says free laundromat. There's a clickable link. They go, oh, I love what you do. Because they don't see themselves in the idiot landlords. They see idiot landlords and they're a separate person, which they are. This hasn't been difficult. They could learn something from me. All right, so that's I will admit, that's a big deal, and that's something we say before scratching 37 grand. And this is all 3 sentences thus far. What else?
So the next thing, I wasn't sure if this is normal or not either, but remember that rent abatement, 4 months upfront, fully abated. But now they're saying the other 3 months, it's going to be, we did agree it's going to be 1 month per year. So year 2, 3, and 4, the first month will be abated. Yeah. But they're saying it's going to be a partial rent abatement, meaning that we'll still have to be able to pay cans and taxes.
Yeah, that's normal.
Is this normal?
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay.
They're abating the rent, but they want you to pay. You know, you've heard me say this too. And I'm surprised you didn't chat GPT that shit because that's normal. The great part about being a landlord with 1 million suites under your umbrella, you know these people. You see their name, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, real estate, right? You know, we own this. You want to lease it? Call Don Cheatham or Fred Dewey or Eddie Howe, right? Mm-hmm. It's an old Three Stooges thing. That doesn't date me because I only watch those with my dad, and they're black and white. So those people that have 1 million suites, when times are good and their 1 million suites are full, their tenants are paying the CAMs, they're paying their taxes, life is good, everybody's smoking stogies. Now, everybody likes to put landlords down because they are these scumbags. Well, what do you think happens when times are bad? When no one is renting, they pay those CAMs. So they just want to make sure that you're paying it, and that's a nominal fee. And it's all you'll get an accounting of it every year at fiscal year's beginning. You guys are falling apart on the chat. Is the computer still working? Come on. Questions, funny stuff. Let's go. Shit, everybody's so enthralled with this conversation. Okay, that's not a big deal. Next.
All right, next, leasehold improvements. So they're saying that we'll take possession of the lease premises in as-is condition. We did agree that they're not doing any TIs, but we did agree that they would at least replace the damaged ceiling tiles. Is that something that needs to be in this lease, or is that something that's just part of the responsibility? It doesn't need to be spelled out.
It does need to be spelled out. Good point. I'm glad you brought it up. I want you, again, I only want to see a couple of sentences here so that when I call him, I'm ready to go through these bullet points.
Yeah, I'll fix it up before tomorrow.
But here's what I want to see. I want to see when he verbally said no problem or when he wrote, yes, we will do this. Because that's nothing. The ceiling tiles, that's a few $1,000s, if that. But if they did acquiesce to it, great. And by the way, if there's no TI money, if they're not spending on anything, fuck your 36 grand. That ain't going to happen. No. Next. I assume we're getting down to the small stuff.
Well, small, I don't know. You said, we're circling back to where you said we weren't investing in their shit. Well, speaking of their shit, the landlord's personal property, the laundromat equipment and all of its components located inside the leasee's premises shall remain the exclusive property of the landlord. The landlord's personal property, if needs to be replaced, the tenants will bear the responsibility of acquiring similar or equal superior quality at the tenant's expense, and those replaced items will become part of the landlord's personal property. Is that normal?
It is normal. And I would even say verbally many times, if I hadn't already, you can have the shit. What is that equipment? What is it, Eric?
It's junk. It's junk.
It's junk. You can say shit, I'll bleep you. What is it? Correct. So that's part of the negotiation, explaining to them that we don't want it. We don't want it. If you don't retool that store, you'll make money for a year, maybe 2, maybe 3. But then you're going to be in the same boat as they are. And so put that in there. Now, what I don't like is that it says the equipment as it sits is the personal property of the landlord. Sure it is. Yes, it is. All of that equipment, how do you think it got there? Someone put it in new. Then what happened? Some poor sap bought the laundromat. The guy that's in there now bought the laundromat with old equipment. He never knew that he couldn't make money. He listened to some fake guru who told him to go buy a laundromat at whatever cost. This guy has tried to sell these stores, right?
I don't think I ever saw these particular stores listed.
Your answer would either be yes, no, or I don't know. I can almost guarantee he has. Before you lose your lease, you try to sell the laundromat, then you try to sell the equipment. It's all paid off. And likely, it's their business, not ours. Likely, this guy, this entity, owes money to the landlord, and the landlord is having him sign a contingency deal that if he leaves, that the property stays in lieu of payment. If he owes them 40, 50, 60 grand, and the fucking landlord's being greedy because he says when we replace the existing equipment that we're going to give it to him. What? No, we give it to our scrap man. And I will tell the guy, we have 4 or 5 points. Just because they drafted a lease, it doesn't mean you have a lease, nor does it mean you have a deal. You don't have a deal until the day you go in there sweating your balls off and you sign the thing. And I'm not going to let you make a bad deal. I'm not. You know that. You know that about me. I'm not making hundreds of other deals with people and they're going onto the interwebs and saying, oh, Danny, yeah, 3 or 4 years ago I got a free laundromat, but now I'm wrong all day over here. No. Personally, for me, you've never done this. I've done it many, many times, not only with clients, but with my stores. And I'm not going to see you make a poor deal. As much, the worst clients are the ones that don't care. Honestly, the ones that say, come hell or high water. One of them, I think, is in the comments here. She was going to buy a laundromat. There's very few women in my comment sections. She was going to buy a laundromat. I was like, oh, God. Write on a sticky note. Danny told me not to. Here's the date. Because 3 years from now, you won't tell everybody that I was right. You'll just know I was right. But I digress. There's a lot of bullshit in here that they think a naive individual is just going to sign off on, and you're not. And all the small stuff allows us to say the 36K goes away. It's that easy. Mm-hmm. They want to have their cake and eat it too, which is something I never really understood till I actually looked at it written down. Oh, if you eat it, you don't have it. Marie Antoinette. Totally different thing. They cut her head off. Why is no one commenting? Is the internet broken? No, I'm looking at myself moving.
They're too enthralled in the story.
Apparently. Good word. Good word. There's that word again. Okay, so he texted me yesterday. He texted me today. We have had our discussion on what needs to be changed. And when he texts me again, since he's A, going on vacation, C, pissed off about when are you going to sign, Joshua says, we're here. Thank you, Joshua. I want questions. We're going to have a lively discussion here. We're almost 2 hours in. What else? What else is there?
Bunch else. But
oh, God. Well, let's go.
One.
Burn through it.
Yeah. Fire insurance premium. They're saying it'll increase if we're adding things that are risks that are not part of the laundromat, etc. Should we add a clarification that says the fire insurance premium increases only applies if the use exceeds standard laundromat risks?
No, you're trying to be a lawyer. Don't try to be a lawyer. Whatever you do, that requires years of education and even more hatred for mankind. So,
all right, scratch that.
Yes. Don't try to rewrite it. You line through it. Fuck you. That's all. You redline it. If you don't do red lines in a lease, you're probably getting buffet in the briefcase. Fucked in the ass is kind of like buffood in the attaché. So anyway, briefcase. It's a funny thing that I made up in
There was a sentence in a section called
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Did they put a dollar amount? And guys, you see what I'm doing. He's gone through the lease with a fine-tooth comb. I'm just addressing his concerns and telling him when something is untoward. Did they say because your insurance should be about $2 million. That shouldn't scare anyone. It's standard. It's like $138 every 3 months. It's standard. There's a dollar figure. It's weird that they're going in there and saying blah, blah, blah. And you know what you notice? The word laundromat. Anywhere in the lease that it says laundromat or hair salon or nail salon or Braille dartboard studio, why are they putting that in a standard lease? Whether or not you're using it for a labor-ready center or an axe-throwing place. Oh, no, we can. Remember when axe-throwing places didn't exist? It's because people thought, how in the fuck are we going to have drunk people throwing axes? Well, they figured it out because someone like my friends at X Insurance insured it. This is where I should put in a commercial. No, I don't have.
Yes, they don't spell out the word laundromat. I think they just say use of the business or something.
Yeah, no, it's line through it because it's standard boilerplate insurance. And because you're going to put more scarier equipment, you have to have more insurance? No. Their
Yeah, they did
insurance,
put dollar amounts for insurance.
their insurance is blanket, and it gets split among the tenants. If you have 10,000, if you have 60,000 square feet for your Walmart, you're going to spend more on cams and triple nets and insurance than the guy with the 1,200 square foot nail salon. That's the way it breaks down. They don't tell you that because you are an axe throwing place, you're going to spend more. No, your insurance is going to cover the throwing of the axes or the running of the laundromat. So that goes away.
Yeah, their insurance is fine. The only thing about their insurance is that they're saying that we have 30 days to find something that covers their requirements.
Yeah.
And if we don't, the landlord will find us insurance and they'll just charge us as part of the rent.
That's normal. When you buy a car for cash, who cares if you have insurance? It's a real question. Who does?
No, but well, I guess the state, right?
Thank you. The government. If you think driving a car is a right, you're wrong. The government wants to make sure that you have blanket insurance. In New Mexico, it might be $50,000 of what? It's standard. $50,000 of
Coverage.
casualty and liability, right? And I'm no insurance expert. I'm no money expert. I am a cigar expert. I'm not even a laundromat expert. I'm certainly not a lease expert. Anybody you hear tell you they're a fucking expert, fake guru. But I know a little something about a little something. In Arizona, it's $100,000 per incident, right? So if I crash into 2 or 3 cars, it's 300 grand. And the state wants to make sure if I have the privilege of having a license plate on my car, it's not like my Humvees that are on my property, which they are insured, but they don't have plates.
Mm-hmm.
The state, there's a fly in here. The state does want to make sure. Now, if you lease or if you have a payment on the car, who cares? Ford, Chevrolet, General Motors Leasing, right? They have every right to be a rider on your insurance. And it's just like they're in the back seat riding along with you. That's the way I think about it. They're going to get notified if your insurance lapses, right? That's normal. You do that with your cars. Unless you self-insure. A billionaire could self-insure, but why would they? Let somebody else take the hit when you crash into 3 people, totally sober. All right, so My point is what? My point is that's standard. They're saying, hey, if you don't have insurance or your insurance lapses, we're going to be a rider. That's normal. You will have your own insurance. It's very inexpensive. Don't let the $2 million cap scare you.
Yeah.
You're actually better off having 2 stores.
So next one is something called relocation clause.
Standard.
Sounds pretty silly.
It's standard. Okay. Don't tell me it says that if they need to move you, they'll pay for X and X. That really says they'll pay for something, not you.
Yeah, it says they'll pay for something.
Yeah, they're not moving.
For all of it.
They're not moving you. What the reason for that is, if they do discover oil in the parking lot, or the values go up, trust me, the last thing they want to do is pay you to move your laundromat. But they're saying in that they would. So that's one of the things that fucks them, not you. So that's standard.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to pay for the infrastructure, go for it.
Yeah, no. They're saying that if they needed to move you, and you could even go lawyer up on them and say, well, yes, contingent on the approval of my distributor who is XXX, right? But you don't have a distributor yet because you're not going to deal with the distributors until you have the lease. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah.
That's just something that you weren't sure of that seems weird. Well, the only reason for that is, and they're rock solid set on keeping this a laundromat. They're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Hey, if they find oil, I'm with it. Let's split it.
Yeah. So usage, they're saying the tenant shall use the leased premises solely and exclusively as a coin or card laundromat and related services.
Normal.
For no other purposes.
Yeah, that's twofold. They want to make sure you're not going to sell drugs, and they want to make sure that you're not going to really make less or more money doing something else. And it also goes
Yeah,
back to if you decide that you want to put a water and ice store in there and they already have one, you can't do that. If you decide you want to put a national chain in there because your cousin has a national chain, it's a whole mess. So yeah, that's almost like subleasing, which is never allowed.
Yeah.
You know, can you sublease it? No. Happens all the time in laundries. Like the guy that gave the store to his employee. Hey, send me money when you can. I'll be in Gibraltar. Have a nice day. It's stupid. So yeah, that's standard boilerplate stuff.
Yeah, the only question I had with that one was regarding like ancillary stuff. So I know like they said you can't have competing stuff, but there's a next door tenant that has like slot machines. So does that mean we can't put skill games in this type of laundromat, etc.? That was kind of my question with this.
We will get you with my friends and we will get you some skill games and you're going to be rolling in dough. No. Is there a line about ancillary or you're just thinking about that? If they have skill games, you can have skill games. 100%.
So there's...
Is that behind like a slotted door where you have to
one.
knock 3 times in order to get in, or it's all legal?
No, it's legal. It's in the one that's the not Chicago location.
Okay, good.
Yeah, not to sell items that competes or interfere with the business of other tenants at the plaza.
You're not that's normal. That's boilerplate. You're not selling items, and you could even put in there, you know, you could either, like I said, line through it, or mention other than legal skill games. And I wouldn't. I would line through it, but then again. I mean, here I am talking out my ass. If you want to put skill games in there, you don't want to have a battle with them, and you do want to put skill games in there. So you should put, you should add other than skill games in red.
Okay.
Your neighbor starts selling soap. God bless you. You know, a dollar store, they would be in. They would be. If a dollar store was selling soap. That means that you couldn't sell soap. Think about how dumb that is. And no one would ever try to come after you for that. Like I've said, they could, but they wouldn't. You could go crazy with a lease. You could go redline everything. You could go in there, and a 5-page lease, sign the fucking thing. A 55-page lease, you better read it. Yours is 27. That's the sweet spot. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Less is more.
All right, we're almost done. 2 more things. The options, so our 2-year or the 2 5-year options. They're saying that we can extend with these options given written notice at least 6 months before the end of the 3rd lease year. Is it normal to be that soon?
No, it should be 6 months prior to the options being. Again, I'm not going to get legalese here, but I want you to go online and ask that question, because what you want it to say is with or without written consent that the lease option will automatically convey to you, period. Meaning you don't have to do anything. The written notice comes if you want to terminate the lease, and you should have 6 months prior to the options dates. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they could say, this is our standard boilerplate lease. Why are you balking about that? You say, well, because our other leases don't read that way. Right? That's not good for them or you. It's just saying, I don't have to, and I don't think they're going to want to boot you out, but you're not going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on equipment. There you go. The Prince of Laundry knows something, apparently. If there's any attorneys on here, stay out of my chat. 6 months prior to the exercise of said option. There you go. So the option will exercise without anything being done. It just happens. But you can back out 6 months prior to the exercise of the option. Some shit like that. They know what it is. Thinking that they're trying to bamboozle you or get you stuck is wrong thinking. They're not. It's just a standard boilerplate lease, and that's the way that they have it worded. It's nice when it's worded in their favor. We don't want that.
The last one was the guarantee. So me being the personal guarantor. It says that I'm obligated to all those things throughout the entire time and even after the lease is expired.
Don't say shit
Should
about
there
it.
be like a burn?
Don't say shit about it.
Don't say shit.
Here's what
Okay.
you're doing.
Okay.
You're guaranteeing a lease. Get down on your hands and knees and thank your lucky stars that you're an important enough person to put pen to paper and be worth millions, because that's what you are. If you think the opposite,
Okay.
which is, oh, I've got an LLC, that's who's going to sign. No, you're not Walmart. If you're not Henry Wall, you can't get out from underneath a personal guarantee. So own it, love it, realize that it's good for you, not bad, that they're saying, hey, all we need is your signature. If you lose both of these stores and you somehow impossibly can't pay the rent, are they going to come after you?
No, they'll just put me
It
out.
took you a long time to say that. No, because you've already lost. Because you're selling fucking Pokemon cards out of the back of a van down by the river. They're not going to come after you. And anybody who is a lawyer would say, Danny, how dare you say that? That's not right. Could they come after you? Yes, of course they can. I could sue you because you're funny looking. It may not stick. It may end up going to jury, but it's speculative. So don't worry. And if you say, oh, I want this personal guarantee out, everything else goes away. There's no lease without a personal guarantee. When you've got you've got to have 100 locations with a huge name and people walk by and say, Golden Arches, what company is that? Right, Burger King. Everybody knows that. That's where you need to be in order to get out from under a personal guarantee. And that's also how Burger King is able to sell franchise rights for millions, because you're not on the hook. Fuck that. Good, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, I guess one last little question. Throughout the document, it says that I would be responsible to pay the landlord's expenses, including court costs and attorney fees to enforce the lease. Is that normal?
Standard.
Okay.
Can't put a line through that because that's the thing. You are. And the poor, silly bastard that's losing these stores is on the hook for that. And that's why you need to realize how good that is for you. Because we're going to rip the curtain back, exposing the great and mighty Oz, and say, bro, we're not giving you 36 grand so you can kick this other guy out. He's already on the hook for that. But they know he doesn't have it. So they're just going to ask him to politely leave and leave his shit behind and leave his tail between his legs. And that's sad. It's horrible. If my enemies want, they could take this and soundbite it and say, this is what Danny does. No, I already told you it's not what we do. This guy destroyed his own businesses. And probably the major reason why he can't pay the rent is because he bought these fucking laundromats. Good night, everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, what happens next? Tell me in 2 sentences. You already know. Go through it, redline it. Give me my short, and now I'm telling you what's next. What's next?
I'm going to clean it up, redline, put all the short summaries together. Step 2 will be wait for your text, so when this guy texts you, to get on the call with him.
Correct. And by the way, thank you, Eric, for doing this, because I'm having these discussions with clients. I'm in flux with clients daily. I'm talking to brand new clients. I hate corporate terms, but I'm bringing them into the fold. I should say onboarding, but fuck that. I'm bringing them into the fold. I'm sending them their emails. I'm saying, this is how we work together best. This is how it works. I'm placating clients who've given me wrong numbers by saying, I don't think this is the right number. Do you realize it's 818? We're supposed to be in Chicago. Oh, well, they have offices in California. Okay, good. I'm glad you knew that. I'm having conversations with clients who are about to sign their lease. I'm talking to clients who did sign their lease, who are now trying to figure out how to best get their equipment deals done. And that will be you. So rest assured, for the preposterous, tiny few dollars that I charge you, and I only get away with it because I love it, and I don't have the time or the inclination to go visit everybody. Again, these store openings are everywhere. And I know you're not going to hold up your phone and make a video about your new laundromat when it's making money, because it's annoying and it's silly. And there's already too many people that are...
I'll be the first clients. I'll be the first client to hire someone to twerk in front of my laundromat, and we'll make a TikTok out of it.
There you go. I don't know about the twerking part, but sure. If TikTok is still around. All right, let's stay on. Do you have a minute to stay on with me here? We'll burn through some of these questions.
Yeah, and yeah, you know what? Feel free to use the video, like whether it's in your course for nervous clients, or people are emailing you, link them to this live stream. I think it'll be very helpful to those people.
Adorable. Well, if they're going to sit through 2 hours of this shit, yes. And that's the thing about the lives. When people are on the fence, I tell them go watch the lives, and then I never hear from them again because they're like, oh my God, that's 75 hours of my time. Okay, then go watch the course because it's all in there. I can't speak to the monster under the bed, but that is what keeps people going to the job. And if you hate your job and you hate your boss and you hate the way the secretary looks, once you go through the process of potentially owning your own business, whatever that business is, and you decide in your mind it's too much work or it's too scary or you can't sleep at night, go to the job and be happy, because that's what you were meant to do. The world needs ditch diggers too. No offense to ditch diggers. Lindsay says, it took me forever to buy the course. I'm not just that kind. I'm just that kind of person that does that. This is one time I'm really glad I did, even in spite of the sketchy website. And fuck you, Lindsay. I'm actually changing the website right now, finally, kicking and screaming. I just don't see any need for it, but I get it. People go in there like, is this real? Freelaundromat.com.
It's the big PayPal button. That's what it is.
It's a giant PayPal button. It's all it is. Here, click this or go home. Manuel says, I bought the course after watching about 3 hours of his videos. I knew it was the right thing. Look at you guys. These must be fake bots. And I didn't think about it twice. Thank you, Manuel. Wade says, I found Danny after I was in the process. Oh, I thought he was saying witness protection program. In the process of trying to buy a laundromat for $235,000. They wouldn't negotiate the price, and something felt wrong. After seeing Danny on here, the rest, as they say, is history. And yes, Wade has a free laundromat in Canada. Clara says, how much is the course? Go to the website, Clara. It's cheap. It's probably far less. I shouldn't say cheap. It's inexpensive, and it's far less than you think it is. It's a business card. It makes sure that you, Clara, are ready to do this. Joshua says, Wade, glad to hear that. That's an awesome testimony. Seems you're doing well since then. Love your videos too. I think you have some. Yes, he's in some of mine. When a landlord or agent picks up, I feel like I just won the lottery. All right. Yes.
It does feel like that.
My first call ever was answered, and here goes Lindsay. I got an LOI out. Now crickets. LOL. Stop LOLing unless you're a 12-year-old girl. Meanwhile, I die inside learning patience and the game. She makes a frowny face. Wade, thanks, Joshua. I'm on a few of Danny's calls. I don't do it on my own videos of coin collections or anything. That would just be odd. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? I will tell anyone who will listen that Danny's way is the best way. It's the only way. God. Kurt says, Wade, I'm in a similar spot, meeting with a store owner tomorrow. Oh, shit. $180,000 zombie mat with a month-to-month lease. I'm getting so excited, I'm getting tongue-tied. It's not the vodka speaking. Got the Danny kick to the nuts, and now I'm not considering it. Kurt, don't go to the meeting, or go there with a pair of glasses on and your pee-pee exposed and laugh at everyone because it's stupid. Nothing will make sense. Send me an email, Kurt, and remind me. Have you seen the silly course? Joshua, I thought it was you that had the security video of how to set up your stuff. Maybe I was mistaken. That's Hot Dogging with Dan, or maybe that was Danny's. I've seen a lot of his content. Now, it's usually my face in my videos. Thank you very much. I kind of blend them in my head. Well, that's a problem, Joshua. Medication can fix that. Umair says, Danny, how long do you think the hype of laundry businesses will continue? Don't know, don't care. I've been around here since before the hype, and let me tell you the day the hype started. October 24th, 2019. A gentleman named Brandon made a viral video of him collecting coins in his one laundromat, and it went to 7 million views in 7 days. That has nothing, and if he was on here listening or I was calling him on the phone, we would both agree that has nothing to do with laundromat ownership. It's ASMR. Then Brandon made a video and said, I made $32,000, guys, on YouTube this month. And what do you think that did? It made every swinging dick that's got a laundromat decide that they were going to go make $32,000 the next month. In fact, most of the videos of coin collections are people using his exact verbiage and terminology. But YouTube ain't dumb. YouTube doesn't give no shits about someone trying to be viral. They see right through it. I can't tell you how many people have done coin collection videos and given up. YouTube is different than Instagram. Instagram is different than TikTok. There's some gal with 1.2 million TikTok followers, I'm sure, right now, who probably shows her boobs. What does that have to do with owning a laundromat? Nothing. I'd watch it. Try not to be an idiot.
As long as the gurus keep making money off of it, they will keep hyping it.
True. And there have been no less than 28 YouTube channels that have come and gone since 2019. Not that I'm keeping track. Danny, you rock. Love the video. Oh, well, thank you, whatever your name is. It's a two-stogie night, says the prince. You're going to be in the doghouse worse than when you come home with the next shiny... maybe you don't follow my social. Shelly also smokes cigars, dude. That's the one you want. Need to watch it again and again. Always getting new gens. I don't know who Jen is, but I think he means gems, and I think he means the course. Noah says, Danny pulling out cigars out his ass. Arse. I like that spelling. At this point, I want to see the humidor. We talked about that. Furu is the new word. Thank you, Manuel, for fake guru. It's a furu. Is this guy on the phone or not? I don't know why that's funny. Are we going to get to see DD remove all of Jason's? This is Eric, not Jason's nonsense in his lease. Yes, you are. I will do my level best to get that out here for you guys. We're here. That's someone commenting when I said, where the hell are you guys? We're all engrossed in the story, says Thomas. 6 months prior to the exercise is set option. Thank you, Prince of Laundry. 8 deals today. 8 deals this week so far. Nah, don't twerk, bro. Marcus says don't twerk. Well, I don't think he's going to twerk. He's going to get a girl to do it.
No, we're going to get some college OnlyFans girls to do it.
Thank you, God. No, nobody wants to see. If you twerked, it could go big. I'm not sure. Kyle is laughing. Other people are laughing. Joshua says, sorry, at gymnastics with my daughter, so I can't listen on what you're saying, Danny, but I can get a bow of your cigar, a bow of your cigar smoking mug. A bow. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see the humidor. No, I have videos of it. And in fact, Brandon made a video of my whole house. All right, we're done. Eric, thank you. Talk to you soon.
All right. Arrivederci.
Adios, ciao. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being here for this long. This was a discussion in reference to what you do when it's time to sign the lease, and we always do the same thing. There's been dozens of them. Cigar went out again. A good cigar will go out. Go into the regular video and comment. Say something funny. Lee is right. Longest live ever. We've broken the record. Last one was 2 hours and 5 minutes. Ciao, everybody. Appreciate you. If not a laundromat, how are you going to get rich? Tell me in the comments.